Hey guys, I have the new and hopefully improved Insta360 Flow 2 phone gimbal here. I'm not going to do a full test review on this since there are plenty of those out there already. Instead, I'm going to focus on Android phone support with the S24 Ultra here and also active track. So those are the 2 points I usually focus on if you check out my other phone gimbal testing videos. So let me switch over to this and we'll see how the quality is and test it out. See how the support is and see how the active track is. All right, and I'm now switched over from the DJI Pocket 3 over to the Flow 2 here with active tracking turned on. So for this Flow 2 gimbal, it looked like all of the people who got the product early and the ones who got it for free were using iPhones. And from the marketing material, there was a heavy focus on the iPhone being mentioned for specific features. So I'm testing this out with the Galxy S24 Ultra phone, and I want to see how stripped out the features are, or I guess if that compatibility chart is actually true, because I don't think it was on the original Flow gimbal. So let's get going. Let's see what this can do. There is a compatibility file on, let's see, if you go to the if you go to the Insta360 Flow 2 page, there's a compatibility tab at the top. If you click that, it launches a PDF file. You can see here, iPhones get multiple camera support, 0.5x to 15x zoom. When you go to Android, the more Chinese brands get better support. But then once you get down to Samsung, which is popular in the United States, the S24 Ultra only gets wide angle and ultra wide camera. My understanding though, because they're not really named like that, is that the ultra wide angle I think is like the 0.6x and then the wide angle is the 1x camera. Looks here like the zoom is going to be limited from 0.7x to 10x, but we do have 4K 60 frames per second support, which is something I don't think we had up until pretty recent on the original Flow gimbal. I figured this would only be an iOS feature, but for Android there is one-tap shooting with the app. You just don't have that whole compatible app thing. But on the flip side, I've heard that it's not actually true tracking. It's like a slower version of it that doesn't work as well. But you can put the clip on, scan the code, stick it on the gimbal, then open it up, and it opens up the app and gets it connected quickly. So let me show you that. Do that. Put it in, flip it up, and it's connected and ready to shoot if you go to the camera. All right, guys, I just did a really quick round of testing, and this thing is pretty confusing how it works. So let me show you right here. We're on 1x, and we are using the second lens in, which is the main camera, the high megapixel count one on the S24 Ultra. If I zoom out, it will zoom out to 0.7x, and it's using the first camera, which is the 0.6x ultra wide angle. I don't know why they couldn't actually get it to 0.6, but anyway, we zoom in, it'll flip to 1x, flips to that main camera. When I go to 3x, it is still using the main camera. When I go to 5x, it flipped. And now it's using the little 3x camera. And if I keep zooming in, around 8.6x, it finally flips over to the 10x camera, which actually is a 5x camera because this is the S24 Ultra. So at 8x, it switches over to the 5x camera. Let's see if we can find the exact point. 8.3 is where it flips over. And the other interesting thing I found, and I think I had the same problem on the original Flow. Let me zoom out here. Once you start recording, if you try to back out and get to that ultra wide angle, you can't. So 1x is as far back as it lets me go. I would need to stop filming, stop recording. Now I can flip over to that lens, start recording, and now I have zoom control from 0.7 to 1x, but I can't go beyond 1x unless I stop recording, flip forward a little, and now I can start recording again and go through the rest of the zoom cycle. So this is really interesting. So it doesn't follow their compatibility chart, which is, I think, the same thing I had using the original Flow. It is cool. I think it's actually better that we get full camera support, but it is strange where it picks those flip over points. In particular, let me see here. At what point? Okay, at 4.6x, it flips over to the 3x. So you're kind of, and that 3x camera on the S24 Ultra is not a real high quality one. It's got a small sensor and it's not good in low light. So when you take that and then zoom it into 4.6x and have it cover all the way to 8x, I think it's really straining what that camera is meant for. Boom, 8.2x. Now it's like suddenly sharper and looks much better. So that's interesting. Not what I expected anyway. It doesn't follow the compatibility guide that says only the ultra wide and only the main camera should be in use. And actually, yeah, 2.9x, it's using the main camera. We knew that. So let me see what else we can get out of this. All right, I got active track going on this thing. If this is anything like the first Flow, it actually had better tracking than any other gimbal I had tested, especially if you walked out of frame and then came back into it after a period of time. Did a really good job of re-snapping on. I gotta move this a little. Let's see, still got me. Okay, so I'm gonna go out of frame here for a little bit. Okay, that was about 15-16 seconds. Still read wrap me. Let me try. I think even hiding behind something would block or confuse the other gimbals. So let me try that. There we go, so even without seeing my face, it's able to follow me. I'm gonna try disappearing even longer and seeing what it does. Let me go out of frame for like more than, probably for 30 seconds. I'm gonna cut that out of the video, of course, but I'll be right back in about 30 seconds. Yeah, it's got me already. I don't think any other gimbal that I tested has been able to track for that long. Even the DJI Pocket 3 is really good at tracking, but it drops you pretty quick if you go out of frame. So that's cool. All right, let me stop recording here. All right, guys, I went through the app. Didn't really see anything else that seemed stripped out or important that's missing. For the most part, you know, the important things are that you have good camera support on it. You know, the zoom wheel works, you can start recording, you can flip it around, you can do active track, things like that, at least to me anyway. So here's what I found though. Once you flip it over from 30 frames a second to 60 frames per second, the camera functionality changes. So let me start at 1x here. Start recording. Same thing as before, I can't zoom out to the 0.7x. What we're using right now is the second camera in, which is the main camera. When I zoom in, at no point here am I seeing any kind of a flicker. I'm still on the main camera at 6x. I keep going all the way to 10x. I'm still using that main 1x camera. So in a way, maybe that's why the compatibility sheet only says the 2 camera support. What I should do here is let me stop recording, go to the 0.7x. So I'm still at 4K 60 frames per second. So if you only want it to use those 2 cameras, just flip it over to 60 frames per second. Otherwise, once you move it over to 30 frames per second, actually, let's try 1080p. Because 1080p... not letting me touch that. I think the app is messed up. I'll come right back. Let me close out of the app. Alright, now the app's not working. We're at 720p, but it's not working. Well, let me change it again. It's glitching. Alright, let me force close it again. I'll be right back. We're back. We're on 4K 30 and we get nothing. Hey, hang on. No go. Alright, I give up. I'll restart the phone. Okay, restarting the phone worked. I'm now able to go back and forth between different resolutions and frame rates fine. So what we wanted to test was, after bumping it to 1080p, are we still... nope, now we're using the other cameras again. Bump, there it is again. So really it's just a 4K 60 frames per second. If you stay out of that, then you get much more camera support using this gimbal with an Android phone. So I didn't see any other glaring issues using this phone versus an Apple device. I think it actually works pretty good. It's a very smooth gimbal. It handles the weight of this phone, I think, much better than the previous ones did. Overall, it just seems more refined, especially with the more stable kickstand that it has on it now. So anyway, let me know in the description in the comments if you have any questions, and I'll see if I can answer them. Thanks for watching.